for my top tweets of the week, I'm going to get here on Twitter from last week. This was from Beth, and the first article that I liked, it says, when students consistently ask meaningful questions, they get comfortable at taking the risks that lead to learning. So I clicked on this article, and I read it, and it was really interesting that it's so important to allow your students to be able to ask questions because they're going to get comfortable and they're going to ask things that might not be specifically in the lesson, but it's really going to end up teaching them a lot. So I'm going to head over to my profile and the tweets that I talked about this week. I'll start with the first one. And this was kind of cute. It says, my mom is a 6th grade teacher, and she asked what kind of technology that she uses in her classroom. So I clicked on this, and it's just a bunch of kind of ideas to use in the classroom for feedback and assessment. Some of the things are like Quizlet Live, Kahoot, Google Forms, which we actually use in class. It's really easy to get work back really quick. She said it can go on forever, but there's a lot of useful things that we could use in our classroom. A second tweet, it got 4 likes. It was cool seeing this 1st grade class connect through this thing. It's pretty much like Skype, but they're actually looking at a class in New York, and they're able to like talk to them. And it was so cool to see how these kids were interested in how different the classes in New York were. So they were talking about the different school cultures, and I think that's just something really interesting that we could probably use in the classroom for sure. It makes global connections, and you can learn about the operations and how classrooms work and how different it is when you're just normally in your county or state, and how different it can be in another one. My last tweet, and it says, if you plan considering the question, I've got 5 hours a day with these little humans, what do they need? Opposed to, I have 5 hours to cover, just whatever I need to do in my standards, and how do I fit it in? And I think it's important as a teacher not to, really think of it that way. You need to think of it as these kids need this education. What do I need to do for them to make sure that they get it? You don't need to cover standards, but you need to learn what each student needs because they need to be well-rounded and really knowledgeable. So I found a lot of tweets, but these are my favorites. And